It's been called fantastic. It's been called fabulous. We're just going to call it Friday.
Man, you love Fridays.
I do. I'm so excited. We've got some great stuff happening this weekend, too.
We do. And now you're going to speak tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, ladies' breakfast at Grace Community Church in Guelph. If you have nothing to do, come along. It's going to be great.
And you have to be a lady, by the way. And I'm doing a men's breakfast in Coquitlam Alliance tomorrow. Yeah, that's for the guys. And then on the weekend, I'll be speaking out there on the persecuted church. Looking forward to getting back to the hometown.
People haven't seen you preach, but you're quite the fiery preacher, actually. I've seen, you know, we were together in India many years ago doing some stories in the persecuted church, and I was like, whoa, Greg, where does that come from?
Well, I just don't want people to fall asleep.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, today we're going to find out a little bit more about you. We've been with you for 6 months, but this month, you know, as you know, we're doing a little bit more about our hosts, profiling them, and you're up today.
Yeah, and David Main's, of course, somebody that was very influential in, you know, my walk with the Lord, and then to be on this program really is a dream come true. So, going to get a little look into the life of Greg Musselman.
Oh, it's going to be good. Bring out my Kleenex. These things always make me cry for some reason. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Our producer gets to the heart, I guess. So we'll look forward to that. We got a lot happening on today's program. Right now, we're going to look at an issue that was in the news recently. Let's go over to Maggie and her guest.
Thanks, guys. A First Nation in Saskatchewan is considering legal action against a California video game company over a new video game called Civilization 6, where the gamer can play an Indigenous character during colonialism, but not just any character. Chief Poundmaker, who has been seen by many as someone who played a pivotal role in our country's history. Crystal Lavallée, our First People's Voices producer, joins me today to talk more about this. Now, Crystal, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit more about Chief Poundmaker and who he was.
Well, we were dialoguing a little bit before, and Chief Poundmaker was an incredible leader with an incredible heart. And so he was born in 1842, Plains Cree, and he was actually known for being a peacekeeper and a defender of his people, having to navigate through a really tough time for their people. You know, one of the challenges he had to navigate was the loss of their traditional food, which was the buffalo. So because that food was coming to extinction, he needed to figure out a way to keep his people fed and thriving. And unfortunately, eventually he was put on trial for treason and felony. But one of the things that I found interesting about Poundmaker is that they don't know those words in Cree. There's no such word for treason and felony in the Cree, and he had signed the treaty in good faith that he would live in peace with the white man. And so, you know, he wasn't in favor of colonialism, but he was looking to protect his people. He was looking to cause their community to flourish.
Well, to tell us a little bit more about why this story has made headlines, we're joined by Milton Tutusis, headman and counselor of the Poundmaker tribe. Thanks for joining us today, Milton.
Yeah, well, yes, good morning, and thanks for having me on your program.
Yeah. Milton, your voice has made quite the rumble across national headlines.
Apparently, it caught me a little off guard myself, but yeah, absolutely, we're taking a stand.
And one of the things we want to know is we want you to explain to us why this is such an important topic for you and your community.
Well, first and foremost, we believe this is an act of cultural appropriation, and I had to learn really quickly what that movement was about. And it's all online. There's a lot of information there about the Navajo Nation taking urban outfitters to task. There's a couple cases here in Canada, like the Cowichan sweaters in the West Coast, Vans T-shirts on the West Coast, and even in my time, at least a decade ago, I was becoming more and more aware of Indigenous cultures being expropriated and exploited and misrepresented. For example, in the NFL, we have the Washington Redskins. There's been a lot of academic scholarly work as to why that's offensive and why the NFL and the Washington team should reconsider using that name on an ongoing basis and so on. So again, it's really an act of cultural appropriation. We want to raise awareness about that.
And Milton, I also think in watching some of the video game that it seems quite racist as well. I feel like, you know, you have Chief Poundmaker and he's going through this land through a time of brutality and violence of his people. How do you feel about that?
Well, when we first saw it, I thought it was actually kind of cool that Poundmaker, our famous chief, our iconic leader, is in a game. But then when I looked further into it and saw the trailer and started searching online of Civilization 6 and understanding the themes. Like it's still, these games are potentially very harmful to naive gamers, particularly young people, maybe millennials, whoever plays these games. I'm not a gamer myself, but immediately these thoughts came across my mind after some analysis, and that is we're still trying to work our way out of the tremendous, horrific, negative impacts of colonization, imperialism, these concepts of doctrine of discovery and genocide, which is a very strong term that's been used, but it's been used particularly from the fallout of the Indian residential school experience here in Canada and indeed in the USA. So again, it's very alarming that our chief, first of all, we did not give consent as a Poundmaker Cree Nation government. Our elders are very not happy that Chief Poundmaker is being portrayed in a way that totally contradicts the values that he represents.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Milton.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, up next, with a look into the Book of Psalms, here's how you can request your copy of 52 Weeks Through the Psalms by author and pastor James Merritt.
From James Merritt comes an insightful, inspiring, and comforting journey through the Psalms.
James, we are so excited that you've partnered with Crossroads to offer your new book, 52 Weeks Through the Psalms.
Well, I'm honored to be with you as always, and this book is fascinating because in it you're going to learn how to understand about the provision and the power of God. You're going to learn how to trust in the approachable presence of God, and most of all, you're going to be able to grow in your joyful response of God. We're going to have a great time.
As you begin a new year, Crossroads encourages you to embark on weekly readings in the Psalms. To make it easy and most meaningful, we'd like to give you a complimentary copy of this new book, 52 Weeks Through the Psalms, when you make your January gift to support 100 Huntley Street and Crossroads' unique media mission. We're waiting to hear from you, so call now, 1-800-265-3100, or make your donation at crossroads.ca/donate.
It is a new year, and if you're like me, it's a time to think about what new things do we want to do this year to set us on a different trajectory for the new year. It's a good time to say, hey, I want to dive into the Bible more. The Psalms are a great place to start, a very honest look at when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you feel all alone. All those emotions are in there, plus inspiration to trust God in the midst of it. We want to get this book into your hands for your best ministry gift, and we do thank you so much for all you do to support this ministry. Well, our founder, David Maines, before he died last fall, he had said, you know what, you need to give people a chance to get to know our host just a little bit better. We took that to heart. We listened to him. Today we're going to take a look more into Greg Musselman. Here's his portrait.